Kai went to a different room in search of Kate before excusing from his parents. He reached to one of the rooms and saw Kate sitting at the balcony admiring the moon. He smiled and walked to her. As he saw a thick layer of smoke she released, he sighed and walked to her, who was holding a stick of cigarette between her long slanting fingers. "What you doing here?" she asked, as he smiled and took the stick from her hands, crushing it between his boots and floor. "It's injurious to health," he said, as Kate took out another stick, but he took the whole box and threw it away. She glared at him as he sat beside her. "I know, so many ups and downs we have to take in life, but we never have to feel betrayed by those." Kate looked at him. "Always prepare yourself. And yes, never be with someone who doesn't give you love back, despite giving the love to the one who deserves," he said as Kate slightly laughed. He frowned. "What is your age?" He smiled before replying. "I'm 26 right now, as he is older than Ryan, so Kai is 26 himself." "But you have big mouth," he smiled. "I don't care what you think. I just don't want a beautiful girl to cry." Kate looked away. "Who said I was crying?" He smiled and forwarded his hands to the corner of her eyes, wiping small drops of tears before tugging her hair strands back. "And who said I was talking of you? I was talking of a beautiful girl." Kate glared at him as he giggled. "They are beautiful, and you exclaimed as gorgeous. They assume themselves as princes, and you queen yourself." He winked and started walking while Kate looked at him. "Everyone is waiting. Please come down fast," he said, his back facing her, and went away. Kate held her chest and smiled. "He gave a weird feeling to me. What is it?" She again looked at him as his figure already disappeared. She smiled and stood, going downstairs. Time skip. It's almost 2 hours past. Your parents didn't get your any calls and messages. Let me call her. He excused, leaving to corridor as he called you. "Hey, where are you?" You sighed. "At Maple Bridge." Guy nodded. "So what lie I should say to your mom and dad?" You smiled. "Tell them the Subin sister didn't let me go." Guy nodded before hanging up. As he went to the living room without noticing, someone heard him. He reached as Jungkook came from kitchen with some dessert. "Here, try this," he gave to them, and glared at Guy. "Mom, Subin's sister didn't let Ryan leave, so she's staying there." Your parents agreed, knowing how strong yours and Subin's bond from childhood is. "Okay then, we will leave, John." He stood and hugged Jungkook. "I wish we can spend more time in future, sir." He nodded as your mom hugged Kate, and they are going now. Kate and your parents left the living room as Kai was about to leave. "But wait, you." Kai looked back at Jungkook. "Yes, Mr. June?" JK walked to him carrying his cold face. "I know Ryan is not at Subin's place. Where is she?" Kai looked away. "If you don't tell me, then I have to complain your parents." Kai held JK's arm. "No, she is at Maple Bridge. Whenever she feels low, she goes there." Jungkook sighed. "Don't tell mom, dad. Even though they love us, but they can never understand the pain she had." JK frowned as Kai smiled. "I don't know, but I feel you care about my sister." Jungkook looked away. "I don't know what fate has planned. I'm always protective of my sister, Mr. June. I can't break someone who will hurt her, like I did before." Kai said and left while Jungkook stood there only. Kai was going through a corridor as he saw Kate. "Go fast, your parents are looking for you," she said, and was about to leave. But Kai held her wrist. She looked back as he smiled and walked to her and gave her a hug. Letting out a satisfied groan, he pulled out. "You are so comfortable, Kate," he said and went away, winking at Kate touched her cheeks. "The hell he is doing? Spoiled brat." Kate walked in and saw no one. "Where is Jungkook?" she asked one of the maids. Sir went outside. She nodded and sat on the couch as she was not in the mood to get reminded of her mistakes by him again. She sighed as Kai's word came in her mind. "Well, he was right. I am loving and caring for him. Even I was wrong. I am trying to change, but all I know, Jungkook will never forgive me." Meanwhile, Jungkook came out of the car as he was at Maple Bridge, windy breeze going on, making him shiver. It's cold here, and here is she? He asked himself as he looked around. Then he asked himself as he looked around the bridge, but there was no one. He sighed. Ryan, Ryan, are you here? Ryan, come on. See, I came for you. He screamed louder, but nothing came in response. He sighed and looked around, but suddenly his breath hitched when he felt someone's hand sneaking around his torso. He was about to push the person, but go, he heard your voice. He held your hand and made you stand in front of him and hugged you. Why didn't you reply when I was calling you? Go, I'm here. You giggled as he pulled out and saw your rosy cheeks and bottle of soju in your hands as you take a long gulp from the bottle. Yummy. Jungkook sighed and took the bottle, smashing on floor as your eyes widened. Cool. But he cut you off. The hell you doing, Ryan? I was hella worried, thinking you did something stupid. He screamed as your eyes turned teary and soon tears started dropping through cheeks as you cried loudly. Cool, I love you. All you said crying. Why don't you accept me? You walked to him and hugged him. He closed his eyes, controlling himself, but you nuzzled into his chest. Please accept me, Jungkook. I love you. You sobbed harder as he wrapped his muscular arms around you. Shh, calm down, he whispered as you nodded, still lightly sobbing, being in each other's arms, soothing both your hearts. He pulled out and looked at your puffy eyes as he wiped the tears. Let's go. You shook your head and hugged him. I won't. I want to be with Goo. You pouted, showing puppy eyes as he melted and nodded. Then you want to come to my penthouse? You looked at him. Me and you only? He nodded as you smiled. Okay. And you said and ran to his car as he chuckled at your behavior. Making you sit inside, he drove to his penthouse. Reaching the destination, he came out and opened the door for you. Come, but you didn't came, as he looked inside and found you sleeping. He immediately took you in his arms, lifting you up as a guard came to him. You parked the car. Guard nodded as Jungkook went inside, going to his room. The penthouse belongs to Jungkook as no one knew about the place, not even Kate. Whenever he feels stressed, he comes here and does his favorite things. He came to his room and made you lay on bed as you groaned. He slightly opened your eyes. Jungkook, you said his name as he looked at you, creasing his cheeks. You leaned in. He gulped harder as you pecked his lips, slowly moving them as he lost it in your sweet ones, kissing you back passionately as you grabbed his hairs, massaging his scalp, giving him a feel of satisfaction. He laid on top of you, grabbing your waist. He kissed you back, sucking your lower ones. As you opened your mouth, he put his tongue inside your mouth, tasting your mouth. Making it more intense, he pulled down your side sleeves, revealing your cleavage as he unbuttoned his shirt, removing from his body, touching his abs, pulling out while a string of saliva connected both your mouths. Not caring, he reached down to your chest, pampering the spot with soft kisses. Took Jungkook. You moaned when he sucked your collarbone. Biting and licking at the spot, you took a deep breath, making him whine. You pinned him to the bed, sitting on top of him. He was shocked by your sudden move. Looking at him with loving eyes, you slid your dress from your upper body along with your undergarments. Jungkook was mesmerized by the beautiful view. He smiled, but something caught his attention. A tear flowing down your eyes. Ryan, what's wrong? He asked. You don't know how much I crave for you, how much I want to be with you. Never in my life I've been head over heels for someone. When I'm around you, my life seems easier and I feel happy. You're not a want anymore, you're a need. I'm even ready to be your mistress. Jungkook froze for a minute. This was the first time in his life that someone openly wanted him. First time he felt he wasn't a horrible person and someone was happy to be around him. He confessed, Ryan, I do want you. I'm in love. Now I'll do what makes me happy. For once I want to think about myself. I know what I have to do, he said. Jungkook really felt calm around Ryan. He decided that he was gonna divorce Kate. Well, he had many reasons to not be with her. One of them being her having an affair with Jimin. He knows that they meet behind his back. Even though Jimin acts all friendly with Jungkook, he knows he's not so nice. They both hugged each other and spent the night alone in the penthouse. Next morning, they both were ready to go back home when Ryan interrupted. Let's go to your place and talk to Kate. I don't think she will mind you both separating. Jungkook hesitated and said, I don't think you should talk to her now. Let me handle this. Give me few days. They both went back to their house. Few days became few months and then 1 year. Deep down, he didn't want to divorce Kate because she was the part of half the property of his. He might love Ryan, but he loved money more. During this 1 year, they dated, but whenever Ryan asked him to marry her, he postponed. Finally, one day, Ryan realized that he was just using her. On a dark, windy night, she went to the Maple Bridge. All drunk, she stood at the bridge and watched the water, cursing her life. Why does nothing works out in my life? No matter how much I work hard to impress my parents, I'm never perfect. All these years I'm waiting for one appreciation from them, waiting to tell me that they are proud of me, my all accomplishments. But no, every day they try to change who I am. I feel so lonely. Before, I didn't have anyone to give my heart to. When I found the right person for myself, came to know he was married. How stupid of me to sleep with him and ruin the marriage. Lord, I think I'm a worse person whom no one wants, she said while sobbing loudly while looking at the sky. She was so drunk that she couldn't stand in the same place. Her legs slipped and she fell in the water mistakenly. She clapped her hands but couldn't shout for help. That day, Ryan drowned and died. Her chapter was closed forever. She had been depressed from a long time because of her parents and mostly Jungkook. She was in love with Jungkook from a long time. Just like that, she left the world without getting the love and care she was dying to get from her parents. She never ever got to experience real love, which she craved all her life. Her parents were rich, but still they couldn't afford to give their affection to their only daughter. Timescape. It has been 3 years since she has gone. Nobody knows where is she or what happened to her. The second day of that incident, her parents got extremely worried and made the police search for her. In fact, they even searched in the water, but nothing was found. They regret now and yearn to see their daughter's face for once. Her friends have been upset about it, but one has to move on. Subin still tries to call her, but the phone is still off. As for Kai, he got married to Kate and has a beautiful daughter with her. Kate left Jungkook the same year when Ryan vanished because she thinks of him as a pathetic person who ruined the life of an innocent girl. Jungkook blames himself for the things that happened. He became lonely after the incident. All he was left with was his wealth. He has no one to take care of him, no one to ask him if he is doing okay. He fights to live with himself. He thinks about how he could have made everything perfect for both of them. Fuck the society, when they would have been happy together. He still has hope that she will return one day so he can make everything right.